The Galactic Military Academy's shooting range hummed with the soft pulse of quantum targeting systems. Holographic displays floated above each station, tracking every micro-movement of the cadets as they aimed at targets suspended in zero-gravity chambers. The air smelled of ozone and recycled atmosphere, sterile and controlled. Mia stood at Station 47, her weathered duffel bag resting against the polymer wall, while other cadets interfaced with their neural-linked precision rifles. She carefully unwrapped an object that made several nearby shooters pause mid-calibration. It was a scope. An actual, physical, mechanical scope. Is that a museum piece? A Velcrian cadet named Z-Extor clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among his species. His compound eyes glittered with amusement as he gestured toward Mia's equipment with one of his forearms. Alexander, human cadet from the Mars colonies, glanced over from Station 46. His expression was carefully neutral, but Mia caught the flicker of curiosity in his dark eyes. Unlike the others, he didn't laugh. It's a Schmidt-Bender 5-25x56, Mia said quietly, running her fingers along the scope's worn surface. My great-grandfather used it in the Terrestrial Wars. Terrestrial Wars, a Aquilian female named Shri trilled, her feathers ruffling with barely contained mockery. You mean those primitive conflicts before humanity even achieved lightspeed? How quaint. The Rangemaster, a grizzled Korthian veteran named Commander Velenak, approached with heavy footfalls, his three eyes focused on Mia's rifle, a bolt-action accuracy international that looked positively ancient compared to the plasma rifles and railguns surrounding it. Cadet Torres, Velenak rumbled, his translator rendering his growls into standard galactic. This is a precision shooting examination. The targets will be moving at variable speeds across multiple gravitational planes. Are you certain that ... equipment will suffice? Yes, Commander, Mia replied, her voice steady as she mounted the scope onto her rifle. Velenak, SI stalks twitched, a Korthian equivalent of a shrug. Very well, but understand that this examination requires hitting at least 7 of 10 targets. These targets utilize the latest quantum displacement technology. They phase shift microseconds before impact, requiring predictive algorithms that I understand. Sir, Mia interrupted softly. The other cadets had stopped their preparations entirely now, watching the human girl with her antique weapon. Alexander found himself holding his breath, though he wasn't sure why. Something about the way Mia moved, deliberate, completely confident, reminded him of the old gunfighters from Earth's historical archives. Begin when ready, Velenak announced. Stepping back, Mia settled into position, her body forming a perfect triangle of stability. She didn't connect to any neural interface. She didn't activate any targeting computer. She simply pressed her eye to the scope, her finger resting gently against the trigger. The first target materialized 300 meters downrange, a small disc no larger than a dinner plate, bobbing and weaving through the artificial gravity wells. Around the range, other cadets' weapons hummed and whirred, their AI systems calculating trajectories in nanoseconds. Mia's rifle cracked a sharp, brutal sound that seemed wrong in the sterile environment. The target shattered. Z-Extor's mandibles stopped clicking. The second target appeared, moving faster, tumbling through 3 different gravitational zones. Mia's rifle barked again. Hit. Lucky. Shot, someone muttered. By the 5th target, a disc that was not only moving but randomly teleporting short distances. Via quantum displacement, the range had gone completely silent except for the sound of Mia's breathing and the rhythmic crack of her rifle. 678. Alexander leaned forward, his own examination forgotten. He'd grown up around firearms on Mars, in the domed colonies where people still remembered the old ways. But he'd never seen shooting like this. The 9th target was different. It appeared for only half a second, phase-shifting in a pattern that the Academy's own AI had designed to be virtually impossible for unassisted organic targeting. The holographic displays showed probability percentages, 0.003%, chance of successful hit without quantum prediction algorithms. Mia exhaled slowly, her finger tightening imperceptibly. The rifle cracked. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the target, which had already begun to phase shift, suddenly exploded in mid-displacement, something that shouldn't have been possible. The bullet had somehow anticipated not where the target was, or even where it would be, but where the phase shift would momentarily stabilize it. Commander Velenak's 3 eyes widened simultaneously. Impossible, Shri whispered. The computer said your computer calculated where the target would be, Alexander said quietly, finally understanding. She calculated where it had to be. The 10th target materialized. performing an erratic corkscrew through 4 different gravity planes while phase shifting every 0.2 seconds. It was the kind of shot that typically required 3 cadets, working in tandem with synchronized quantum rifles. Mia's breathing slowed. Her heartbeat became a metronome. And in that moment she wasn't thinking about algorithms or predictions or probability matrices. She was feeling the shot the way her great-grandfather had taught her father, the way her father had taught her, the way humans had been shooting for centuries. Before they ever touched the stars, she fired. The target disintegrated. Perfect score. The range erupted in shocked silence, then sudden, chaotic noise. Cadets from a dozen species crowded around, their translators creating a cacophony of confused questions. How had she done it? What technology was hidden in that scope? Was it some new human military secret? Mia simply smiled, packing away her rifle with the same careful deliberation she'd shown unpacking it. Alexander pushed through the crowd. How? He asked simply. The universe has patterns, Mia said, securing her scope in its case. Quantum displacement isn't random, it just looks random to computers trying to calculate it. But humans, she tapped her temple. We're really good at seeing patterns that don't make logical sense. Intuition, instinct, whatever you want to call it. Millions of years of evolution, tracking prey, predicting movement, throwing spears at running animals. That doesn't just disappear because we built better tools. So while our computers were trying to calculate the future, Alexander said slowly, I was just seeing it, Mia finished. The old way. Commander Velenak approached, all 3 eyes fixed on the human cadet with newfound respect. Cadet Torres, that scope is just glass and metal, Sir, Mia said. The technology that mattered. She smiled. That came standard with being human. As the other cadets returned to their stations, still murmuring in disbelief, Alexander caught Mia's eye. She winked at him, a gesture that needed no translation. Sometimes, the oldest technology was the most powerful one, and humanity had been perfecting it since they first stood upright and looked toward the horizon, wondering what lay beyond.